Thank you so much. May God worship, bless us all. Now, I invite Professor Mary Patros, Head Department of English, to welcome the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
A very warm welcome to one and all. I'm extremely delighted that the Department of English, Christ College, Irinyalakuda, is hosting such a prestigious event, this International Symposium on Creative Writing. At the beginning, I would like to welcome all of you to this event. Let me begin by extending a warm welcome to our principal, Reverend Father Dr. Jolly Andrews, who is responsible for every innovative program that we undertake. Welcome, Father. Next, I would like to welcome our speakers, Dr. Gada Tawson Abdul Latif. She is the English instructor at Beni Suef University, Egypt. Let me also extend a warm welcome to Manali Desai, founder and creator of Rustic Mind, Netherlands. Dr. Rahayu Puji Haryanti, professor at Semarang University, Indonesia. Ikra Akram, lecturer at University of Education, Pakistan. And Lucky Stephen Onia, founder and director at School of Arts and Poetry, Nigeria. I welcome all the speakers who come from various parts of the globe to share their learned insights to the participants of this program. Next, I would like to welcome our distinguished participants. Like our speakers, our participants are also from various parts of the globe. So I wish them a pleasant morning, and I hope that the insights shared by the speakers will hone your creative writing skills. Next, my welcome to all my colleagues in my institution and department. I would also like to welcome the students who are a part of this program. Last but not the least, a word of welcome to Dr. Gina and Dr. Varghese, who will be joining us shortly. Once again, wishing you all a pleasant morning and a very enlightening session on creative writing. Thank you very much. Yeah, Dr. Varghese has joined us, so over to him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary Miss, Head Department of English, for the welcome address. Now I invite Dr. KJ Varghese to take over the session. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shinto, and thank you very much, our head of the department, Professor Mary Patros, for that wonderful words of welcome. In fact, it was technological glitches. I mean, in fact, I had two connections, but both didn't work. So naturally, at last it's over. So sorry for the delay. So we are here again once more. Maybe many of us met last year, same month, for an international conference of English language and literature. And this time, this is going to be a different symposium altogether. In fact, we are planning a series of symposia on creative writing. So those who are interested in creative writing, those who are creative writers themselves, those who teach creative writing, and the budding creative writers should take it as an opportunity to interact with famous creative writers and critics from all over the world. So to begin with, we have 5 speakers today to speak to us on different aspects of creative writing and to motivate us and also to inspire us on this particular, area of creative writing. And this is, as you all know, is organized by Christ College Autonomous, Irinyalakuda, Kerala, and Pachyderm Tales, international literary consultancy and publications. They've published almost 200 books, and especially from the creative writers, especially the budding creative writers. And we are together, both Christ College and Pachyderm Tales, are looking forward to many more publications. And we are very happy to have all of you here. And I welcome all of you who are watching this symposium on YouTube and also on Zoom platform. And here we have with us our dear principal, Reverend Father Dr. Jolie Andrews, to inaugurate this series of symposia and to deliver his message. So he is a very charismatic, energetic principal of Christ College, very young, and a supporter of almost all kinds of events, what's happening in the college. And we are, of course, going to the 4th cycle of NAC reaccreditation. We are busy with all that, but he finds always time to support us in these ventures. So with all respect, I invite Reverend Dr. Jolie Andrews, our principal in charge, to address the gathering. Over to you,
Thank
Father.
you. Thank you. Thank you. I think you can all see and hear me.
Yes, Father.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Professor Mary Patros, the HOD of the Department of English, Dr. KJ Varghese, the host of the event, and the icon who has worked hard in order to make this symposium a reality. I could find 5 distinguished speakers from around the world, from Netherlands, Indonesia, Pakistan, Egypt, Nigeria, from different parts of the world participating in this event, in this symposium, Pachyderm Tales, with whom we have come to a memorandum of understanding in order to help for creative writing. My dear teachers and professors, my dear research students and dear friends. I'm very happy today to join you because we know writing is in a way expression of our soul, expression of our mind. And that too, if we put in a creative manner, that would be a real contribution to the society. And now it's an art. Also, it is a science, this creative writing. Because whenever we put the art in a scientific manner or a science in an artistic manner, that would be a creative put. That would be a creative input to it. So I would say we'll be knowing the tricks of these skills of these techniques of this creative writing, which will help our creativity, whereby we'll be able to live up to the dreams, we'll be able to fly to the horizons of our creativity, which will be expressed by our writings. So wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day in this international symposium. I express my gratitude towards the Department of English in a very, very special manner. Professor Mary Patros is here, Dr. KJ Varghese is here. My special appreciation to all of you and all the faculty members of the English department. My special thanks to Pachyderm Tales, with whom we are entered into a memorandum of understanding. A special thanks to all of them for organizing, helping us to organize this international symposium. Have a wonderful session of creative writing symposium. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Thank you for your kind words, and you have found found time, even in your busy schedule, to address us. Thank you, Father. I think you are traveling. You are in a car. Anyway, thanks a
I,
lot for this.
I have
This
reached
is
my destination, but I said the program is late. We are lucky.
okay.
We
Okay.
are lucky.
Thank you. Thank you,
So happy,
Father. I
so happy.
understand because
Thank
one
you.
of our social service ventures are being inaugurated by the educational minister today. So naturally, it's a very big day for Christ College, and of course for Christ College and Pachyderm Tales together. I mean, hosting this wonderful symposium. Now we have with us Dr. Abdul Muhammad Jinnah, one of the conveners. See, we have two conveners. One, myself, I'm on this side as a host and coordinator. And on the other side, we have Dr. Abdul to tell you about the concept of this series of symposia. So it would be something like what can help you to tap your creativity, what can help you to tap your creativity, and naturally, how can you publish, going to publish? I'm sure there are many students who are interested in publishing, often who possess a creative mind, but often find it, often found no chance, or they find it difficult, okay, to get things published, and how to write every day. So he has a wonderful presentation for us as the concept note of this series of symposia that we are going to conduct. And over to Dr. Abdul Muhammad Jinnah, one of the conveners, and to present the concept note of this series of symposia. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Varghese. It's great to meet you again. It was last year that we met in your college, Christ College, a hallowed institution. I was fortunate enough to be a part of your symposium then, and now we are meeting again. I remember that previously also, I had a 20-minute interaction with you and your wonderful students, and we discussed the same issue. We talked about creativity, but that was then and this is now. And between January 2020 and June 2021, I think the world has undergone an enormous transformation. So I would like to see myself as a kind of a prophecist, because when I came and talked in that particular symposium, I did talk about the importance of creative writing in the 21st century. And I think I can just reiterate that whatever I said then came through with a resounding clap. Because in times like these, the situation that we are encountering today, the situation of being in a lockdown or being entrapped in this new age pandemic of COVID, many of my students, I'm sure, when I say many of my students, I share the anguish of students all around the globe. They are facing an existential crisis of what we are going to do with our studies. In what way are our degrees going to help us? In what way are our educational syllabi going to help us? I'm sure many of our students are undergoing a state of flux and a kind of a depressive mania. So in this juncture, I believe this international symposium becomes all the more relevant and all the more necessary. And I think I should take this opportunity and applaud the initiative taken by Christ College, the members of the staff, the Department of English, and Dr. Varghese, of course. We have 5 international speakers coming from varied cultures and who are going to talk to us about the importance and the parameters that are necessary for creative writing. What is more important is that these are not just academicians, but they are also creators. They are also creative writers. Dr. Rahayu, who joins us from Indonesia, who is no stranger to you. She has been a part of Christ College last year also in that symposium. You must have met her as an academician, but I think it's proper for me to reveal out here that she is also a creative writer. She has contributed many articles and many non-fictional works, anecdotal fictional works on travel writing. So I'm sure Dr. Rahayu would be speaking about her experiences of writing travel narratives to you. Hello, Dr. Rayu. It's a pleasure to meet you again.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, ma'am. We also have Manali ma'am, who joins us all the way from Netherlands, who is, for many of you who are not aware, she's a very leading Indian writer in English. You should be checking out her Instagram pages and Facebook, because then you will know what a popular writer she is. And I believe Mr. Lucky, whom I have not yet personally being acquainted with, is also a renowned poet. So I believe that was a time when, Matthew Arnold was talking about the importance of an academician also being a creative writer, a critic and a creative writer. So we have come to that juncture, and it is at this confluence that Christ College, as I said, I reiterate again, has to be applauded for this very innovative effort that they are taking up. My dear students, my dear teachers, my dear fellows and friends, we have somewhere around 234 participants. That shows the level of success that this symposium is reaching right at the beginning. I think it is time for us to look at the symposium as a kind of a leap, in the terms of social psychologist Walter Benjamin, when he said that every new revolution, every new age has to be heralded by what he called the tiger's leap, a change from the conventional to the unconventional, a change from the usual, the monotonous, the routine, to something that is exciting, something that is innovative, something that is absolutely out of the blue. The tiger's leap. And that is exactly where we find ourselves today. We are here to take that leap of faith, that leap towards the unknown. Because as a teacher, I have been addressing 20 odd years of so many different generations of students, and I have been asking them to look at the aspect of literary studies from a reader's point of view, from a critic's point of view, from a student's point of view. But I think today, in times like these, in the kind of social situation that we find ourselves, it's time that we look at it from the other side of the mirror. It's time that we looked at the concept of literary studies, not just as a mere student or not just as a mere reader, but more as an active participant as a creator. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to focus on aspects of creativity. Of course, we are all creators. When we teach, when we address our students, when we lecture, when we make a presentation, we are obviously using our inputs of creativity into that. But I'm talking about a different kind of creativity. Today's symposium is going to focus on a different kind of creativity, where we also try to become those names in the histories of English literary studies, or the histories of literary studies. I know we have been teaching about, let's say, T.S. Eliot, we have been teaching Salman Rushdie, we have been teaching Upamanya Chatterjee, we have been teaching scores and scores of writers. But how would it be if we find ourselves in the chronologies of these books? How would it be if we could find ourselves as writers, and there would be a whole plethora of next generation teachers, academicians, who would be talking about us? I think that is going to be the onus of today's symposium. So, my dear friends, let's take this opportunity and let us create ourselves. As one of my favorite novelists always says, Stephen King, he says, take the pen in your hand and shine. Don't just be inactive readers, but be active writers. Everyone has a story to tell. All of us are brimming to, the whole of our brain is brimming with ideas. As teachers, we have been narrators in the classroom, but I think we need to move one step further, advance ourselves a little bit, and become creators in our own powerful vision, create great stories and get them published. And that is exactly where this new age professionals, creators and content writers and consultants, Pachyderm Tales is definitely going to help us. Pachyderm Tales is that kind of an organization which would help you shine, as Stephen King says. If you need to shine, you need to create and you need to publish. No longer is publication in the hands of a very few gnarled corporations which are going to keep them under their paws. Today, publication has become open. You can publish. Write your stories and publish. Pachyderm Tales is going to help you in that. I take this opportunity to applaud the efforts of Dr. R. Lakshmi Priya, the director of Pachyderm Tales, and Uma ma'am, co-director, and the entire team of Pachyderm Tales. So, ladies and gentlemen, with those few words in which I have introduced the concept note, I bid adieu to you. All the very best, and I'm sure you have a very successful, a very fruitful academic discussion for the day. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abdul, for in fact inspiring all of us to take up pen and put down something, because as you said, every person who is born to this earth has at least a story to tell. And of course, many of when I think of myself, I often think of myself as a person who has more of a critical mind than a creative mind. But I think this would even inspire me or motivate me to take my pen and jot down something. Okay, maybe a story, maybe in 2 or 3 days. Thank you, Dr. Abdul, for that inspiring words. And I think we move on to the first speaker. And she's from Egypt, Gada ma'am, Gada Towson. I don't know whether she has joined us. See, especially the speakers, if you could just open their video or switch on their videos, it would be nice. I can see in the first screen itself. Otherwise, the problem would be, I cannot make sure whether, of course, she told me that it would be around 6:30 in the morning in Egypt. Or if she has joined, if she has joined, we'll have her first, or else we'll move on to Netherlands, to our writer, Manali Desai. I don't know whether he has joined or not. She has joined or not. Please, may I know if she has joined?
KJ sir, she is in the participants list, but she isn't visible, but I can see her in the participants list.
Okay, ma'am. Dr. Gada Towson, are you ready? If it's okay that we will move on with you, or else we'll move on to the next speaker, and then you can do it as a second speaker. Gada ma'am. Hello. Of course, she's there in the list, of course, but I know whether she's ready to speak. It must be, it's pretty early morning day, so naturally I don't understand. Okay, so if that's the case, I think we move on to our second, often becomes the first, right? We have with us Manali Desai, and we had a wonderful introduction from Dr. Abdul that she's a publishing author. At the same time, she is a critic, and she has many books to her credit, which you can buy if you are interested from the Amazon publishers. Okay, so we have with us Dr. Manali Desai, and ma'am, over to you. And what's going to be a topic, ma'am? In fact, in that 10 minutes, which I was trying for the net connection, in fact, I lost the whole thing. Okay, so could you just tell us the topic first, ma'am?
Hello, hi, Dr. Varghese. Thank you for that kind introduction. I hope I'm audible. The
yes,
audio is okay.
You're very much audible and visible.
Okay. So yes, as you said, often the second becomes the first. So I am going to start this session for today, and I am going to talk about everyday creativity. Getting inspired on the basis of what you see and what you listen to every day. That's going to be my topic, because
Okay, okay, ma'am.
that's
That's
where
great.
we draw the most inspiration, I believe.
Okay, okay. So I think it's her what do you call privilege to set the ball rolling as the first speaker. So over to you, ma'am, Manali, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Agis, and a good morning to everyone. It's really early morning here, and I was just telling Priya that we should try to keep these sessions later, because I'm really, just woken up and logged onto the system. So please excuse me if I'm making any, blunders today. I'm not completely woken up yet. Okay, so as I was mentioning, I'm going to talk about everyday creativity, and I'll just share the screen here. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay,
Visible.
so everyday creativity. Let's first talk about how we can get inspired, and tap into everyday creativity through whatever we do every day. So as a writer, the first and foremost thing is that you need to be able to observe the little things that happen around you. You need to be very observant. Notice what people are doing. Notice what people are talking about. That's very important, and that's probably going to help you come up with ideas. So observe as much as you can, and then of course, as J.K. Rowling has famously said, that no good writer can be you know uh, true to their craft if they are not a reader. So read as much as you can, and I'm sure, because you are all literature students, you anyway read a lot in your course also. But then other than that, I want you to make sure that you are reading every day. And other than reading, what might help you, tap into your creative writing skills is engaging in other activities also, which involve creativity, and that which makes you happy, like watch movies or paint, or do as many activities that can help you lean towards your creative writing skills. For me, generally what helps is a mixture of reading and watching movies. These two activities help me come up with ideas. And also what helps me is engaging with other fellow creative writers. That is also very important. Looking at their work, talking to them about your work can also help you tap into your own creativity. So do these three things, and I'm sure it will help you come up with ideas about what you can write. So the next thing that comes to my mind when I talk about writing is the concept of whether people are going to like your writing or not. So uh, when it comes to being a creative writer, it's not just about writing something that you like. It's also about understanding what people want to read from you. So keep these 3 points in mind while you're trying to write something that you want the people to understand, or you want the people to be able to relate to. So the three things to keep in mind while you're doing a creative writing piece is that you need to talk about your experiences, uh, probably when you went to explore something, or probably when you did something new. So talk about those experiences. People relate very easily to experiences which are which they have also experienced. So talk about those experiences. Secondly, you can talk about current topics or events. There are so many things happening in the world right now. Like, I was just talking with a friend a few days back, telling them that right now we are in a situation like probably it has not happened in centuries. Well, the entire world is experiencing something together unanimously, and that's something we as content creators can really tap into. And it can help us connect with people easily. So write about topics which people can connect with, and that will help you come up with a topic that everyone can resonate with. Then there is, of course, also the option of writing on issues you feel strongly about. For me, the issues that I feel strongly about are education, feminism, equal rights. So I write about these topics, and it shows the passion with which I write, and that uh, helps the people to see through the authenticity of my writing. So write on issues that you feel really strongly about. That it can be anything, like there is environmental imbalance, there is LGBTQ, there is pollution, there is so much we can write about. The issues that you write about, in any corner of the world, you can find a reader who will be able to relate to that. What you talk about in those issues can be able to, feel that they are on the same page as you, and they will find a voice to their own opinions through your writing. So that's one more thing you can do. The next thing that comes about writing is that you are not always going to be able to write every day. So how to develop that practice where you are able to write every day, or at least like 4 to 5 days a week. That can happen with setting aside a few hours every day just for writing. For me, usually what works is writing early in the morning or writing right before going to sleep. These are the 2 hours that work very well for me. I'm very productive in my creative writing during these 2 hours. But of course, you can change it according to your schedule as well. The second thing is maintaining a journal. And by journaling, I mean writing down your ideas. Whatever comes to your mind, please note it down, because however smart we think we are, and we can't fool ourselves that I will remember it even though I will not write it down. That doesn't happen. The ideas come and go away in a second. So maintaining a journal is very important, to have a content bank which you can fall upon when you are out of ideas, when you are trying to write a longer piece. And also it's important to carry it everywhere. So I have this little pocket diary types which I carry everywhere, and that helps me to note down the ideas immediately whenever they come to my mind. The next thing to have is a daily target, like writing a X number of words every day or X number of pages every day. My daily target comes to about 2,500 or 2,000 words every day. But of course, that's very ambitious for someone who's just starting out into creative writing. So you can begin with 100 words or 150 words or 1 page or 2 pages, and then set it as per your schedule and as per whatever your time permits. So in the previous slide, I was talking about how to write every day, but then there is also the question of how to motivate yourself to write every day. This would only come with practice, and once you make it a practice, it will become a habit. It's like you're brushing your teeth every day. Somebody taught you to do it every day, and now you cannot probably begin your day without brushing your teeth. So once you start writing regularly, it will become a habit, but for that you will have to have a discipline, and then that practice, and it will become a habit. With that habit again comes the consistency. If you are consistent with your writing, you will be able to build an audience. When I started out as a writer, I didn't have much of an audience, probably only my few friends, like handful, not even a handful of readers. But then when I started writing consistently, I was able to maintain an audience who looks forward to my writing every day. And that can only come with consistency. Another thing that can motivate you is reading, or doing any other activity that brings you joy. Go out for a walk, watch a movie, watch an episode of a series you are probably enjoying, or talk to someone. That can also sometimes help you get motivated. The next thing is how to get over writer's block, because everyone faces it. Let's admit it. It's not possible that you keep on writing and don't face a writer's block. So when you are facing a block or you're not able to think about what to write on, just take a break. Don't write anything for the time being. Pushing your brain to do something that it doesn't want to do will only lead you to write something which probably you will also not like, and it will show to the reader also that you have not given your best. So it's usually the brain signaling you that it is tired. So take that break and don't do anything for the time being. Do any other creative activity. I have seen a lot of writers who are singers, who are dancers, who are painters. So probably you are also multi-talented and have other creative arenas where you can put your energies into. So take that break and engage in that other creative activity. Talking to someone also helps. Talk to a family member. Probably you have not called them from a while. Talk to a friend. Maybe probably there is some friend out there you have been out of touch with. Talking to someone and sharing your experiences also helps you release those tension that's probably blocking your mind. So do that. Now coming to the main point, whoever is writing, we all sometimes have that idea in our mind that my writing is for myself only. I don't want to share it with anyone. But there will come a point in your life where you want people to read and people to tell you how they feel about your writing. So the four forms of media where I share my work, and it has been really good for me, is on social media, Instagram, Facebook, uh, anywhere. Instagram is there, Facebook is there, YouTube is there. There's no dearth of social media platforms. So share your work there. You can also share it on online and offline writing communities. Become a part of writing communities and share your work with them. Engage with them, read their work, ask them to read your work, ask them for their feedback on your work, and provide your feedback on their work. It's very helpful to have a healthy community where people will help you to grow as a writer. Then of course you can start a blog of your own, and but the thing here that comes to my mind is, while writing and publishing your work also, it's very necessary to be consistent, and it's very necessary to be engaging with others' work also. You can't expect people to just read your work. You have to read their work also. And the most important and the lucrative part of creative writing is publishing it in the form of a book. I will talk about the publishing form of a book, how you can go about it in the coming slides. But what you need to understand is what's your intention of writing should be very clear. And if from the beginning you are very clear that I want to write only for a book, that's not going to be very helpful. What I suggest is start small, start by writing on social media and on blogs, or engaging with other writers. Understand the writing industry or writing community before you go into the book publishing. That's very important, and I am talking from experience here because I made the mistake of publishing my book when I didn't understand publishing as much as I do today. So don't make that rookie mistake that I made, because writing a book is probably easier today, but what comes later is talking about your book, making it sellable, and promoting it. That's the more challenging part today, because there's no dearth of authors across the world today. Now I will talk about the publishing options. So there is of course self-publishing, which is under that also there are two options, like physically putting in your own efforts to go to the printer, get it printed. That's one option of self-publishing. But here the cons are that you have to take care of everything, right from the writing, right to editing, to pagination, formatting, everything falls on your shoulders, and that's not always easy. In self-publishing, there is another option, which is vanity publishing, where you approach a publisher who takes a certain amount of money from you and takes care of the editing, the pagination, the formatting, and the printing of your book. That's also a lucrative option. You can go for that. Then there is traditional publishing, but for new writers, that's a little difficult to get into. And then there is hybrid and partner publishing, where you work in liaison with a publishing agency, and they are there with you every step of the way, even after the book is published. They provide you a support, and whatever revenue is generated from it, it is equally divided between the two of you. The most easy option is to go through an agent or a literary consultancy like Pachyderm. They are providing some really good support, end-to-end support with their consultancy. So you can approach somebody like that, and they will help you with the editing. They will in fact even help you with the translation, and whatever you have written in whatever language you have written, they will get it translated to other languages, which again increases the chance of your book reaching a wider audience. So yeah, these are the options. And as I mentioned, before you choose for book publishing, I suggest that you get more active as a writer, engage with other writers, and build a community, be a part of the community. You will understand the aspects of publishing better than in fact, if you are not, if you are very keen, you can also go through Pachyderm, and they will help you probably first understand how publishing works, and then you can go on with your publishing your work. So I have myself published 4 solo books, and the 4 solo books are completely different from one another. But after publishing the 4 books, I have realized a lot of mistakes that I made with the previous books, and come to a better understanding of how it works. So it's always better to understand the industry that you are entering before taking your first step. So that's about it from my end, and hopefully I was able to provide a good understanding of how to go about creative writing. I pass it over again to Dr. Verghese. Thank you so much, everyone.
Ah, thank you, Dr. Manali Desai. It was, I should say, short and sweet. Okay. In a very few slides, we have told us, our students, and we have a lot of teachers listening to you, professors listening to you. So naturally, in a very simple way, you have told them how to produce creative writing from your own experience. That itself makes it quite interesting. See, when one speaks from her own experience or his own experience, it's very touching. And naturally, I think everyone would emulate you in that case of taking a pen and paper and just jotting down whatever you see and finally producing a creative work which is publishable. So that's fine. And we were listening to short story, best short story award in 2019 for her work, The World Saviors. Okay, so that's why I introduced her in the beginning. So it's better that we know about her maybe at the end after she speaks. So thank you, ma'am, and stay with us. Not only that, we are in fact in a journey. We have just started the journey of this creative writing. This is just the first symposium, and many are going to follow. So naturally, you should be there, of course, to guide us and also to help our budding creative writers. And we have our speakers have joined. Ikra Akram from Pakistan, and Rahayu Ma'am from Indonesia. And I was told that Gada Ma'am was finding it a bit difficult to join, but she has finally joined, it seems. So I think we'll move on to the first speaker, maybe second. And it seems she has a few classes too immediately after the presentation. And she's an assistant, a professor, an instructor of Egypt Syllabus University. At the same time, a PhD in poetry. Okay, so maybe from a creative writer to a person who often analyze creativity and creative writing. So over to you, Dr. Gada Towson, for your presentation. Again, ma'am, you are not audible. I think she's having still.
Morning.
No, ma'am, it's not clear. So if you wait maybe for some more time, will your net issues be over?
Can you hear my voice?
It seems you're not heard, ma'am. So what can be done? I think if that's the case, we'll move on to the next speaker. That's our dear professor from Indonesia, Rahayu ma'am. In fact, she is going to tell us or speak to us on travel writing, different aspects of travel writing. And many of us know her very much because she was in person present in Christ College when we had an international face-to-face conference. And in fact, and she in fact addressed almost our students, our teachers, and the whole academic community, and inspired us on totally different. I think the topic was on local wisdom. She took some short stories and what do you call poems from Indonesian literature and spoke to us
I'm here
how
again.
local
Can you hear me?
wisdom. You're back. Yeah. Now we can hear you, ma'am. Is it okay for you? Can you present now? I was about to go to the next speaker. Hello, ma'am. Now you are audible, ma'am.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, you, ma'am, for the presentation. And she needs no introduction because many of us know her and her caliber, especially. And let's listen to another side. And the title of her presentation is going to be Forms of... No, I think it's from, again, it's from Gada Towson. Ma'am, okay.
Yeah.
Then do your presentation, Gada ma'am, and anyway.
Yeah.
Not
Okay,
audible,
I'm
ma'am.
presenting today the form. Okay, first. Volunteers of literature.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Written to share ideas, emotion, and missionary. Poetry for this. You can. No?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, it seems you are not audible. You're not audible, ma'am. Or can you just skip through the slides so that people read from it? Okay, because you're not audible and I think speaking won't work. So if you can just go through your slides one after another, people can read and understand what you are going to speak. Of course, we miss your speech, but
Yeah.
at the same time, because you are not audible, man. You can just skip through your slide. No, ma'am, it's not heard. I think you can just skip.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not. Yeah, just go through your slides, and we'll finish the presentation because technological
Okay. It is
glitches.
about what is
I think.
poetry.
It seems she has closed. Even she lost her connection. It seems. So, Rahayu, ma'am, I think you can proceed with your presentation and welcome you, ma'am, to the midst of creative writers and who love creative writing.
Yes, thank you.
Start presenting, ma'am, so that.
Yes, yes, okay.
Oh.
Share my screen, excuse me. Yes, I'll prepare to share my screen. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Which one is it? A minute. Okay. All right. Minute. Okay. Yes, I'm preparing to share it now. Minute. Okay. This is yes. I got it. All right. Can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Can it be
It's
seen? Yeah.
visible and
Okay.
you're yeah.
All right. Okay. Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Well. Okay, great to see you again. I really miss Kerala so much, Dr. Varghese. I miss the idli. I miss the what is it? Okay, dosa and masala. I miss
Dosa.
everything there. Okay. Yes. All right. My topic today is travel writing, Komorebi. Okay. Well, let me just start. Well, talking about creative writing, yeah, directly I go through this. One big problem is idea. Many people say that I don't have ideas to write. I don't have ideas to write. Although it is actually in our hand, like Dr. Fagis just mentioned that everybody has a story. However, when it comes to writing, when it comes to write, then suddenly everything is gone. So many times we wait until, what is that? We wait for days, weeks, and even years to come to an idea to write. And today, I think there is an answer to that. That is by travel writing. Yeah, travel writing, because everybody now travels, everybody moves, and then writes, and also publish. Yeah, now, although through social media or blogs. Okay. Well, travel writing is not something new, although it is just lately that it is drawn to analysis to what is it, kind of academic discussion. However, travel writing is as old as the Odyssey, because the Odyssey is regarded as the oldest form of travel writing. Look at this. Next slide. Here. Okay, these are some examples just to give us the insights how travel writing now is, what is that, popular work, that it is in abundance. Okay, we have famous names like Paul Thoreau, and then Bruce Chatwin, and also Pico Iyer. And I think everyone is accustomed to stories of the travels of Marco Polo, and then Robinson Crusoe, Gulliver's Travels. Yeah, a big question maybe is here to ask whether Robinson Crusoe and Gulliver's Travels is a travel writing, or is it the same as the travels of Marco Polo? Yeah, it is a matter of the characteristic of travel writing in which fictions and factuals are mixed up here. We can talk about it later in the, uh, criticism on literary works. Okay, now what is travel writing? Travel writing is narratives about travel. So about travel, what is travel? Travel is a movement, from one place to another. Okay, so we move, every day we move. It is just a matter of the distance, whether it is a short distance or it's a long distance, but all of them are movement. And narratives about movement of places or space movements. And later on, there is also, time movement. Okay, we can talk about it later in a further discussion on travel writing, but movement is travel. And then writing about movement is travel writing. It is first-person account of the author's own experience of a journey or of an unfamiliar place or people. Okay, so the author is regarded as the traveler. So the traveler here acts as the author, although authors may be not talking about their own writing. However, readers always think that the authors are the travelers. It is written in first-person point of view. Yes, what is narrative? It is first-person account of the author's own experience in a journey or of an unfamiliar place or people. Just like this already explained, that travel writing narrative is first-person account of the author's own experience of a journey, or at least there is a suggestion that it is the author's own experience of the journey. It is about unfamiliar place, about unfamiliar people. And the plot is just like the travel itself. It covers leaving home, and then in the destination or during the travel, and then going home. As easy as that, as simple as that. Although some later say that leaving home is sometimes implied, and then going home is also implied, but there is a suggestion that there are two, things here which are very important. The first is home and away. Okay, here. Jump to, what to write here. What to write? Travel narratives is about the place. Okay, you can say that it is about where the soft breeze blows. It is about geographical area of the place. It is about the situation of the place. Maybe about not much vehicle on the street, about a city park surrounded by traditional food stalls. It is about the passers-by in the city square wearing colorful outfits, etc. So travel writing is about a place. Narrative about place. It is the place in the destination that is different from home. It is away. Next, travel writing contains what we can do there. Is it listening to the moon? Or setting up a tent and having a barbecue, singing around the bonfire and looking at the stars in an open area? Okay. Next, it can also be about what can be bought there. Remember, London is a city for buyers. Then when we go to London, we think about what we can buy there. It can be about the colorful knitted shawl, or about the ethnic carvings, the handmade batik with various unique patterns in Indonesia, the carefully carved bamboo handicraft. And also, next, it is about accommodation. We talk about where we stay in our journey. It is about the hotel room facing right to the beach, whether the room is neat or clean. Okay, and then also about the food. Yeah, the food, like when it is in Indonesia, you can talk about the mung bean pie, and then in India, something, yeah, kind of food that really makes me fall for India is ladu, the sweets called ladu, with many kinds of tastes. I really enjoyed the sweet and nutty ladu. I also can't forget a shop in Trichy, which sells ice cream with fruit-shaped decanters. Also in Kerala, the crispy and savory dosa and the memorable cinnamon cloves and peppercorn in the masala. I once put in as the caption in my photo in Instagram that dosa and masala gone with a sprinkle of the garlic pickles. Okay. I have a joke about that. I have a rumor about that. If you were present at that time when I was in Kerala, you might remember that. And then also the description of the environment. Not far from the city, is there any Wi-Fi hotspots there? And then also, is it close to the supermarket? Is it close to the traditional market? And then, is it close to the beach, the environment? And it is also important when you talk about the history of the place. When you visit a museum or you visit a place, you might talk about what is behind that place. What is behind the museum? Is there any history behind that? It is always interesting, and interesting to read also. Interesting to write as well as interesting to read. You can also talk about the association with popular news, association with popular knowledge, or with literary works like Mr. Gavin Bell, one of the famous travelers, when he wrote In Search of Tusitula. He associated his journey with the work by Robert Louis Stevenson when he wrote Treasure Island. Okay, and when I was in Kerala, Mr. Varghese, Dr. Varghese was very kind to take me to see the Syrian church, and I recalled the one in a very popular book, very famous book by Miss Arundhati Roy. Yeah, she talked about the Syrian church. She talked about, oh yeah, a city next to Kerala that I miss a lot, that I regretted that I didn't go there. It is Cochin. The students there told me to take me to Cochin at that time, but we in fact couldn't realize that. And I really want to see it. I remember in The God of Small Things by Miss Roy, the family of the main characters went there to watch the Sound of Music movie. Basically, among the places you visited or we visit and experience that we encounter, we have to choose the most interesting, eye-opening moments and what we can learn and what we can discover from the travel. So the same as what Ms. Desai just said, that before writing, what is important here is we write a journal. We provide a journal. here, make a journey. If you want to write a travel writing piece, you make a journey and then write a journal. But students might argue, we have our smartphone here and we can take photograph, we can take videos. What is the difference? Well, journal, I prefer journal and it helps me a lot. Journal keeps our memory, all our memory, wider memory than photos or videos. It records more than photograph. Yeah. Why? Because it also records smells, tastes, and also our, what is it, feeling, our emotion, which cannot be recorded by photo or video. Okay. Then it brings us deeper in our surroundings. It talks about, or it records our emotion better, more completely than what photographs could do. So instead of attaching our photograph in our journal, better if we also put some writing, some notes about our personal experience there, which can be more details than just photos. Okay, so this will give us all things that we need when we want to put it in writing, in our story about our experience of travel. Then transform into a story. Okay, next is one thing that we have to underline here in travel writing is show, don't tell. Meaning that you have to describe rather than tell a story, rather than explain. Tell, what's that? Show or describe rather than tell a story. Use descriptive language. Okay, for example, or what is that? Whether it is really what is that? Interesting, whether it is really breathtaking, but use a range of adjectives and adverbs, not just one to make it complete. What is that? Picture of our experience. We can use a range of adjectives and adverbs. We can use imageries that explore our senses of sight, our senses of sound, taste, touch, and smell. What is that? Okay. So sometimes we can use metaphors and similes. Marco Polo did that in his story, what is that, travel writing. When he was writing about Indonesia, he mentioned his encounter with a strange beasts, including what? Enormous unicorns. Unicorn is, what is that? A beast in a myth. But then he said that he found some strange beasts and it could be unicorns. How come that the myth animals were found in Indonesia? In fact, it was only a metaphor of what is actually a single horn rhino that can be found in the west part of Java Island and the southern tip of Sumatra Island. Okay, now here, right. This is, what is that, my experience in writing about Yogyakarta, a city in Indonesia. I talk about a street called Kaliurang Street. Then, right inside the place, I found my personal experience here. So I describe the street, which is the World Salad Bowl. Kaliurang Street is the World Salad Bowl. An array of traditional food stalls stand side by side with modern cafes. Then my personal experience is following. When I dined there, some buzzers would disturb my muse, but I like the one playing the guitar, the guitar and harmonica. He wore jeans and a jacket, and his neck-length hair was let loose. After doing his task, he would announce the title of the song. the original singer, and the year it was released. Dear friends, The Long and Winding Road, The Beatles, 1970. So I tried to use, to avoid using too many adjectives, but I use description about he looks like, what the view looks like. This is about the buskers. I didn't say that interesting, he was handsome, but he wore jeans and a jacket, and his neck-length hair was let loose. I hope that it will give more imagination to the readers, rather than if I say that he is nice, he is friendly, etc. Okay, next. Travel writing is then about where, when, what, who, how, and why. Where about the place, when about the time, what about what city, what place, what country, what phenomena, what experience, and who. We can create characters in our travel stories. One should be with the the traveler himself, that is with the word I, and then the others are the people that the traveler encounters. Okay, and then how and why. Okay. Maybe about why some places are worthy to be visited. Okay. And the problem, after we know where, when, what, who, and how, and why, one important thing is who cares. We might care about what we write, but this will be read by other people. So we have to consider also the readers, whether the readers like it or not, what they need. So in our writing, beside the description of our journey, we have to cater to the needs of the readers, whether they need information, whether they need lessons, whether they need entertainment. If possible, you take all. You give information, you give also a bit lesson, not too much, not too teaching, and also entertainment. You can put some humors, some jokes during the travel, and then that make your travel stories colorful and nice to be read. Don't forget that what is waited for by the readers, by people who happen to take travelogues, who take travel stories, is difference. They really hope that they will get difference. They will find something new, something that they haven't experienced, and find experience to have it with the reading travel writing. So if ordinary tourists just dream or just describe the tourist places, the tourist highlights, some travelers do not just visit those popular places, but they would walk away from the highway, from the main street, and they would get into very small lanes or difficult paths, hard paths, because they want to find something different that can be presented to the readers. They want to find komorebi. Komorebi is the sunlight that go through the leaves of the trees. Maybe they do not just walk along the pavement in a city, but they will go to the villages where bushes could be found, and then they talk about the experience or their problems while they have to pass through the places. Okay, there is challenges. There is challenge there that is presented, and challenges is something very important, something very important that other people would like to listen to. Okay, but one that we have to highlight here, because we talk about difference, there is ethics that we have to pay attention to while writing about other places. In travel writing, we learn and we talk about our culture and others' culture. There's ethics there that we can criticize places. We can what is that about places, but there is ethics because nowadays with the cosmopolitan values, we have to uphold differences, we uphold equality, and that should be given attention. And then next, finally, good luck and bon voyage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rahaya, for that Karumabi. In fact, the sunlight, the light that you throw into this travel writings and inspired our listeners. Okay, in very simple terms again, and from the basics. And if you have any questions, okay, should we wait for the last speaker to finish for the questions, or shall we have it now itself? Okay, but I think the next speaker is ready. She's from Pakistan, Ikra Akram from Pakistan. She's a teacher fellow at the Lahore College for Women, and also instructor, a lecturer at the Allama Iqbal Open University, Lahore. Okay, before we go to her, if you have anything to say, or if you can, if you have anything to ask, or I think we'll have the discussion at the end if all the speakers can stay with us till the end. It would be nice that we open discussion. We will unmute everyone and have a discussion because that's what we look
Excuse me,
forward to.
sir. Sir.
Yes.
It seems Ikra Akram, the next speaker, is finding a problem to join us. So
No, it's fine. It's fine. She was here. She was here.
Okay.
Gada will, and Gada Tosin, Dr. Gada Tosin will be the last speaker. She said she would reach her university and then speak from there. Maybe she has a better network connection there. So naturally, she will be the last speaker. And our fourth speaker is yet to join us because the time given to him was 11:30, and he'll be joining us soon. And Ikra, she was here very much here. I don't know what's happening. Ikra, are you here? Especially being a Sunday, I don't know why so much disruption.
Hello everyone.
Yeah, you have joined Ikra. That's great. So again, to what do you call discuss some other aspects of travel writing, we have with us Ikra Akram. As I said, she's
I am just having some difficulty in presenting my slides, so I am just trying to fix it. Just give me 2 minutes to fix it.
Okay, you can very well take 2 minutes, okay, to get ready. So, and we'll have the next speaker joining us from Nigeria. Only the, what do you call, the gentleman speaker that we have. All others, as you all know, are ladies. Okay, so we'll move on to the Pakistani speaker next, Ikra Akram. As I said, she's into travel writing again, and she's a teacher in the Lahore University, at the same time a teacher fellow in Lahore College for Women. So soon she'll be joining us. Till then, if anyone wants to share anything, if you raise your hands, I think you will be unmuted by the time our next speaker gets ready. Or you can have something on the chat box too, which I may take to the speakers, like Rahayu ma'am or Manali. Dr. Manali is also with us. So by the time Ikra, are you ready?
Yeah, I am ready. I am just having some issues in my laptop. That's why I will just present it from my mobile.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, over to you, ma'am. Over to you then. If you can switch on your video, that's fine again.
Yeah. Okay. Is my screen is visible to you?
Yes, yes. It's very much visible.
Okay, let's move on.
No, in fact, it was visible now. I think my image is seen again in your on your screen.
Okay, let me start with the travel writing, as my other fellow Dr. Ria is very well explained about the travel writing. So while talking about the travel writing, we are missing too much traveling these days. In the pandemic situation, we are unable to go anywhere in the world, or we are missing the world in the baddest way. So when we are traveling, we are just exploring the world and the different things in the different way, in the different aspects of the. We are just exploring the different aspects of the environment and the different cultures. So while reading the travel writings, we are also exploring the different aspects of the people and the cultures and the environment and the different aspects of the world. So we can travel through the travel writings while reading the travel writings.
Ikra, I mean, let me interrupt you. See, your screen is not visible. Okay, what I can
Okay,
see is
let
again
me
my own image.
okay, let me check it again.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I am doubled. I am in double now. Okay.
Okay. Is my screen is visible now?
Yeah, it's visible. It's visible now. It's perfect.
Yeah. Okay, let me go with it. So according to the Ella said that you do not travel if you are afraid of the unknown. You travel for the unknown that reveals you within yourself. So while traveling, we are having different experiences which we didn't know before. So when we having that experiences, we are revealing the unknown things which we didn't know before. Then the travel writer sees the world we have lost, the lost valleys of the imaginations. And while talking about the travel writing is about the visiting different places. It can appear as a newspaper article informing readers about a specific destination. It can also be a form of literary non-fiction written as a book, telling a longer narrative about a journey or a place. This differs from a travel blogs because the writings is more detailed and less informal. While talking about the travel writing, we are having the different types of travel writings, and that while writing the travel writings, we are just exploring and writing the experiences we are having during traveling. We are having different experiences with the different peoples, with the different cultures. So we are just interpreting those experiences and the ideas and the cultural aspects which we are experiences during that traveling. There are plenty of realities does out there already. So we are going to focus on the positives and what you can do to maximize your chances of travel writing professionally. So there are many steps to write up the. We have just different steps to write up the travel writings. So we will explore it after it. First, we will just go through the different aspects of the travel writing. So while talking about the travel writing, we must use the first person. We use the first person in our writings. Then it is often descriptive, telling you about the places, as the literary non-fiction is aiming to entertain as well as to inform. We are not just informing our readers, we are just entertaining our readers through the journey we have done before. So Bill Bryson is a big writer, and he wrote the explored the travel writings in his books. As he said, in his book as I come from Des Moines. Somebody had to, when you come from Des Moines, you either accept the fact without question and settle down with a local girl named Bobby and get a job at the Firestone factory and live there forever and ever, or you spend your adolescence mourning at length about what a dump it is and how you can't wait to get out, and then you settle down with a local girl named Bobby and get a job at the Firestone factory and live there forever and ever. The last continent will burst. We will explore the different aspects of it in this paragraph. The Bill Bryson is the first person to talk about where he comes from. He also tells us the names and the place clearly at the start. He uses humor to create interest for the reader. He used to play around with sentence length, sometimes making short punchlines. He creates a long sentence where no matter what path you can take, you settle down with a local girl named Bobby and live there forever and ever. This also creates a humorous tone for the reader. So while talking about the travel writing, we should focus on the sense of the place where we are traveling, where we are focusing, where we have the journey. There should be a sense of the place. There should be the physical beauty of the place. There are people who are living there. We should use the name of the we should use the name of the people living there. We should have to write up the real name of the cities we are traveling. We should have to explore the nature of the cities, nature of the culture, nature of the different aspects of the nature we are exploring there. We should endangered places. Then I am having the example of the Paul Theorex on the traveler's mode. The Paul Theorex write that the most traveler narratives, perhaps all of them, the classics away, describes the miseries and splendors of going from one remote place to another. The quest, the getting there, the difficulty of the road is story. The journey, not the arrival, matters. And most of the time, the traveler's mode, especially, is the subject of the whole business. I have made a career out of this sort of slogging and portraiture. Travel writing is diffused autobiography, and so have many others in the old laborious look at me, a way that informs travel writing. Then the joy of travel writing, the joy is said. Some travel writers can become serious to the point of lapsing into good all American penetration. What nonsense! I have traveled much in Concord. Good travel writings can be as much about having a good time as about eating grubs and chasing drug lords. Travel is for learning, for fun, for escape, for personal quest, for challenge, for exploration, for opening the imagination to other lives and languages. The tourist guide. While having the journey, while exploring the journey, while exploring the destination, we are traveling there, we are describing the place, we are informing about the cultures, we are explaining the different aspects of the culture, we are might discussing the reader, we are convincing our readers to explore that destination or the journey, to revisit that place, or to advise our reader what the reader should have to do when he or she goes there. We should entertain our readers instead of just informing them. Travel writings can take many forms, such as we could write our travel writings in the newspaper, in the form of the articles, in the form of the essay journals. We could have different blogs, autobiographies, longer narratives. We could write a book as well, or the travel writing is the non-fiction type of the writings. Then there is the Des Moines. Des Moines said that when you come from Des Moines, you either accept the fact without question and settle down with the local government. I have just mentioned it before, so I just leave it. So after that, while contrasting the options, we should contrast the options within the accept the fact without a question, as or spend your adolescence morning at length are both awful. Describing the smallness as a dump makes the reader imagine a rubbish dump or an ugly place. Bresson ends the extract with the repetition of the first option to settle, get a job, and live there forever and ever. This implies that you have no options, no choice, really, and cannot escape Desmoines. This extract is likely to entertain the reader, but unlikely to persuade them to visit Desmoines. Then we will discuss the types of the travel writing. We are having different types of travel writings. We could have the freelancer travel writings, journalisms. We could have the destination articles. We could have some special interest articles. We could have holiday and special events. We could have roundups. We could have personal essays. We could write up the op-eds. We could write up the travel bloggings. Or moreover, we could have how to, or we could have the itineraries, or we could write up the long form posts. We could write the different books, or we could write up the travel logs as well. So we are having the different types of the travel writing. There are many ways to explore and question travel writings as a genre. Is the author's self-efficacy, or is the author an important part of the story? Does the writing have a plot, or is it essentially without a story? Is the account truthful, fictional, or some weird combination therein? There are legitimate questions, but one of the most helpful ways to categorize travel writing is to follow in the footsteps of Paul.
Ikra, some connection problems. Hello. It seems she has stopped sharing, might have lost her connection. In that case, we'll move on to the next speaker if she has done with her presentation. Yes, again, that was a presentation on travel writing. She also was having some network issues. Maybe she lost her connection or the network.
Yeah, I just got a network issue. That's why I got disconnected with you all. Sorry for that. Let me go with it again.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Okay, then we are discussing the commercial travel writing is the form of the writing that could be also used as a travel guides or top 10 list based of 10 best of list articles, destination pieces, literary journalism, restaurants and hotel reviews, how to guide, side trips to sessions, advertorials, while discussing the goal of the travel writing, the goal of the travel writing is to inspire a reader to counsel or to advise a reader, to give a reader to serve that place, to give a reader to point the different pointing places of that place that we are discussing in our blog or the in any form of our travel writing piece. We try to help and figure out where we should have, where the reader should have to go, what he or she have to do there, what is good there in that destination place. Then we are having the literary travel writing. The aim of the literary travel writing is to entertain readers, to consume it for pleasure and
Uh,
Okay, again. No, ഹരി ഇനി ഒന്ന് വിളിക്കോ?
Sir,
ഹരി ഇനി ഒന്ന് വിളിക്കോ?
KJ Wagi sir, Shinto here. It seems the speaker has lost their connection. I wish to take over the session now. Dr. KJ Wagis, are you here?
Hi everyone, that was another call. I think she has lost her connection, so we may move on to the next person. That's Lucky Stephen Onia from Nigeria. But again, the problem is the same with him too. He gets in, but soon he goes out. So I know, and but so much disturbance is there in the network issues, maybe because it's on Sunday that we are conducting it. So I've never faced so many issues in a program like this. So
okay,
let's see.
I have
So you can
just
wind up your.
concluded.
Yeah.
I have just concluded, and if anyone have any question, you are most welcome.
Okay. I think we'll take up the questions maybe at the end, or else if when Dr. Gada is ready, or Lucky is ready, we can have the presentations. Lucky again, he's from Nigeria. He's the founder of a poetry school day. At the same time, he was admitted first and then he lost his connection. Can I have him here then? Hello, Dr. Lakshmi. Any sign
Lucky
of?
sir is here, but he's being, there is some firewall issue. I'm just figuring it out. He's here, but I'm not able to. He's not able to stay. He's here. He's very much here. I'll just check and get back to you, sir. Just give me a couple of minutes.
Okay. So by that time, if any one of you wants to, in fact, interact with the speakers, I think we can have it now. If you raise your hand, I think Shindo would be in a position to unmute you. You can speak to them. I think all our speakers, Dr. Manali Desai, yes, then our Pakistani speaker, Ikra Akram, and Dr. Hayu, ma'am, all are here. So if you want, you can unmute and ask questions to them, or you can even share your experience, because this is a workshop on creative writing, in fact. So I'm sure that you are in some way interested or connected to this creative writing. That's why we are all here. So if you have any questions, you can just raise your hand. Yes, yeah, okay. Ikra Akram has also joined us. So 3 of our speakers are here, and the other 2, of course, are waiting to let them in. Let them in the sense they're not in a position to join. I find my friend from Nagaland very much. Do you have something to say, ma'am? Hello, ma'am. Uh, I think we have been into a kind of Mexican interactions these days. And in Mexico, everyone calls their teachers teacher instead of sir, ma'am, etc. So she has changed her name, teacher, right? Is it? I'm sure that you are. Just tell us something about what you have been listening to, ma'am, or your own experience in creative writing. You yourself is an editor, I know. You are, also a teacher. So tell us something about your creative writing experiences or your encounters with creative writers.
Well, I I don't have much to say in here, but yeah, what this teacher, okay, our speaker Manali, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. So yeah, like the way she said it, you know, it has to do with something that you felt and something very relevant. And then like she's like mentioned earlier, like everyone has a story, and when it comes to me, you know, I've been doing on the literature. When it comes to literature, I've been doing on the cultural experiences. So what I've been doing is on the fact writing of the on the cultural background of several on the tribes of Nagaland. That's what I've been doing, because I'm already familiar there, and already I'm not well versed, but of course the culture is there's similarities, and I've been living with it, so I was able to make it. But you know, and when it comes to the writing, you know, I am like surprised that you actually asked me to speak on here, but that's what I can say at the moment. I totally agree, and then it was a very informative and very resourceful session, I must say. And like I said, I was not expecting to be, you know, speaking on any context. Anyways, thank you so much for the opportunity, Dr. Verghese.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for those kind words. Okay, when it comes to creative writing, even as I've said in the beginning, have a kind of critical mind often, I think. And in fact, I used to write when I was doing in my school days, I should say. But once I took up literature, to be very frank, I should join in Wordsworth. Once he lamented, whither fled the visionary gleam. So maybe we are into a lot of theories. We have started analyzing literature, whether it is poetry, drama, or novel. So often I think at one point of time, everyone often laments along with Shakespeare, Peter fled the visionary clean. But let's hope with these kind of workshops, it will be back. And somebody else to speak? Maybe our three speakers are here. Minnie Krakram is here, Rahayu ma'am is here, Manali ma'am is here. Someone can just unmute and speak. So let's keep ourselves engaged by the time the two speakers get ready.
Yeah, someone asked me about the best books I liked about the travelogues. On the travelogues, so I just suggest input the Gania. No, sorry. In Patagonia by
Thank
Bruce
you.
Chadwick. It's the best book I have found on the travelogue. And
Okay.
one other I would like to suggest is Travels with Charlie in Search of America. That's also a great book. It's by the John Steinbeck. One must have to read these two books on the travelogue.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Manali miss, you have a question down there in the chat box. Can you see the question, please, on the chat box?
Could you just read it out?
Somebody
Okay.
has asked me to share one of my short pieces and talk about how I went about doing it. And then there is also proofreading process, I think. Better to check the content on a hard copy. Okay, so I will answer both the questions. Regarding the short piece, what we can do is you can drop a mail to Pachyderm Tales, and I will share the short piece. Whatever questions you have after reading that short piece, you can ask me how I went about writing it and what were the techniques I used in it. So I think that would be more beneficial, because if I talk about it here, it will be a very long talk. So, and the next question I read was proofreading process. So, for the first two books that I wrote, I relied on my publisher completely. But with the later books, I realized that it is important to do some basic proofreading and editing from your part also. Hence, I hired a few better readers, and they were able to help me get through the process of the writing of the book easily. And I personally know many writers write their first draft and then take a printout and do the proofreading, but I have never done it. I am a complete digital slave. I rely on Grammarly and on my beta readers, and it has worked for me so far. But you need to find out your own comfort zone once you start writing. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And it's a open forum now. Whoever want to ask something to our speakers can very well ask the questions, or you can have it in your chat box. At the same time, the message tells that Lucky cannot join us because of network issues. Yeah. I think he has entered the waiting room. Let's hope he'll be in. Okay. 1 second. Let's wait for Lucky then. He has just come. I don't know whether he'll be in a position to join us. Hello, sir. Can you speak or share your screen? I've admitted Lucky in, but I
Yes,
don't know.
Lucky sir is in.
Yeah. So if we can start his session. As I said, he owns a poetry school. He's a founder, director of poetry school in Nigeria. A right person to address us who are interested in creative writing. So over to you, Lucky sir. We're waiting. And by the time he gets ready, I would like to tell you something about Pachyderm Tales. I think you all know about Christ College now, Christ College, Irinyalakuda. okay, a premier institution in Kerala, that too. And one of the biggest ones in Kerala, I should say, because we have almost 4,600 students studying in various disciplines. Okay, both UG and post PG students. And one of our beautiful, I mean, one of the what do you call most beautiful campuses in Kerala, and associated with a lot of films, Malayalam films and even Tamil films. Okay, that's Christ College, okay, a premier educational institution. At the same time, Pachyderm Tales, as I've told you, is it's an international literary consultancy. So if you have any doubts regarding, or if you want to publish, you're welcome. And I think Dr. Lucky Stephen from Nigeria has joined us. Over to you, sir. We have been talking about you till now, and happy to see you. Could you just unmute and speak? You're muted.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to have you
It's
here.
nice to me too. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you. You can proceed with your presentation, sir. We have been waiting for you.
So sorry for the delay.
Or your speech. Okay.
It was all right. Good morning, all creative writers around. I am Lucky Stephen Onya. We are partners with Pachyderm. I'm the founder and director of School of Art and Poetry. This morning, I will be talking about creative writing. Creative writing is an act of expression. However, we have a challenge today amongst our writers. The issue boils down on trying to compete or participate in international competition, haven't gone through the criteria. They focus more on impressing the judges, impressing their audience. However, it is necessary that creative writing should be observed and noted as a form of expressing of oneself. I find it very fascinating that a typical creative writer is a bookworm, a lover of humanity, one who seeks to understand his culture and the events around him. A true creative writer focuses more on communicating intent, a perception seen or noted from the society. A true creative writer helps shape the community. It's like an ambassador of literature. Of course, having said that, we must realize that that's one of the goals in School of Art and Poetry, to help shape the literary world. Humanity is faced with a common enemy, and only through creativity can we fight it. Science is having a hard time. The people are panicking. A true creative writer would use words creatively to help appease the mind of people, encourage them in this trying time, aid them to see that humanity will always excel and always overcome challenges. Historically speaking, we know that illness or challenges have always come across humans to make them weak and make them helpless. It is the work of the creative writers to help, use words, engage the people in the society, engage the international community, using the social media to help reduce the effect, for instance, of the COVID. Literature does not have a religion. It is a religion of its own. And the art of expressing oneself is the goal of everyone who ever desires to hold a pen and use it on the paper. So creativity is, first of all, born in the heart and in the mind of the writer. The desire to communicate one's intent so that receivers, readers, will see vicariously, feel vicariously the intention communicated to help appease the mind of people, to help point to a brighter future. Only creativity can do that. Because the truth is, when you listen to the news, sometimes you develop heartache, death here and there. A true creative writer will let us understand that death comes to all. That death, after death, given the religion or the belief system, like in my belief system, there is always a life after. And so we encourage everyone that, look, life on earth is temporal, but there's a better life ahead of us. And so while I write, I communicate this intention, helping my audience to capture and vision a life that could help them survive the now. A creative writer is never stifled with words. They are molders of destiny. They are the ones that will build. In the war against COVID, for instance, art and literature will fight side by side with the scientists, with the medical practitioners, with the religious leaders. Because you see, what we pen down sends a vibe, sends or communicates to a larger audience. Take for instance, everyone is glued in to social media. A typical creative person will avail himself the opportunity to maximize this opportunity and communicate words that suit, words that inspire, words that encourage. It takes only a creative person to key in into the season that we are and help the world to heal. In my platform, we help people to understand that writers are the saviors of the world. We help them to view beyond the now. And I, for one, have written several lines too to help capture the situation, making it known that nothing lasts forever. Humanity have always survived harsher realities. So COVID is just one of them. And like in my own personal belief system, COVID shall come to pass. We will always overcome. But you see, it takes one who understands the now, who understands the possible reality of the future to be able to engage a given audience who are facing some hiccups or challenges and help them create a future reality. So who is a true creative person? A true creative person is one who sees beyond the now, who helps modify the reality, who helps create a perception via words, one who has meditated in the situation and feel he has a word for the society, help them see through difficulties. It is simply amazing over time, the power and effect of creativity, the power and effect of the act of writing. For instance, poetry is a beautiful thing. I, for one, I love writing prose. I love writing stories. Now is the time to change the narrative. Now is the time that the true writers will come to the stage, pick the pen and paper via creative writing, correct certain abnormalities. I hear of that every day. But since I'm alive, I speak of hope. I speak of inspiring someone who is about to take his life as a result of certain harsh reality. Creativity cannot be shackled. Creativity is the easiest thing to do if you understand the concept that you and I are the savior of the world. We are soldiers using our swords because the sword now happens to be mightier than any war power ever created. Poets use verbiage. Our words should be that console. I'm a pacifist by design. And so each time I write to heal the heart. I believe I have an audience there that every line that comes to my mind is an inspiration to someone else. And so also, a true creative person would use this opportunity to create a niche and a name for his or herself, helping them, helping people, helping the society to connect to a divine law, a universal law, human quintessential, human meekness. Creativity is the difference between the reality and a future possible. The ability to perceive, to see ahead, and insight into what could be. And so we call, using this medium created by the Noble Platform, to help people realize that if you can wield the pen, there's high possibility that someone out there will need your words, will need your voice. And so each time we pen down, we help people to see the potential of aiding someone, the potential of helping someone overcome certain challenges, certain limitations. You know, yesterday I penned down the poem, My Call, My Vocation. It is all about trying to compare that I may not be an astronaut, I may not have a spaceship to travel the world, I may not be a wizard to be able to read a crystal ball, or perhaps read a tarot card to tell what the future holds. I may not be a scientist to help decipher the corona season, but I'm fortunate to be a poet. And so I use my pen with my words via meditative imagination, help my audience, help those who seek to understand my words, that there is hope for humanity, that there is hope for you and I, because I could see, using my mind's eye, beyond the horizon, that there is hope somewhere. And so I will enjoy my other colleagues and the art to see this season as an avenue to help heal the world. And trust me, the pen is mightier than any weapon of war. It may not be made of fully weapons, it may be made of soft words born by the lips, but it has the capacity to pierce the heart. It has the capacity to heal anyone who may be contemplating a suicide, either because of loss of loved ones or because of severe hardship. The platform, the world is offering us a space today. The world is offering us an opportunity today. I must not fail to thank the Pachyderm Tale firm, who is a partner of School of Art and Poetry, and the Crystal College, who made this opportunity for us to engage ourselves. And with regard, in my closing line, with regard to true creativity, creativity is not the art of impressing anyone. It is the art of expressing one's feeling and intent, creamed with human weakness, aimed at helping someone to perceive, to see, to have insight of what reality that holds in the near future. And like I said in my line, COVID has given us an opportunity to make a name for ourselves. Whoever that is truly creative will use this as an opportunity to key into it and aid everyone to see, to perceive, to also to communicate to the world. It is a lifetime opportunity, dear friends. To publish book, people at home, they are seated, they are listening, they are watching, they are observing. I am taking the opportunity to write as much as possible in a day or two to help suit my society. In Nigeria, for instance, we are always communicating. The writers are consistently communicating, helping to shape what the future holds. Yes, we have a harsh reality. We'll be going through several challenges. It is not about religion. It is not about race. COVID is for all. And so writers are global citizens. They are able to cut across countries. They are able to cut across religions. They are able to create a perception beyond the reality that we are facing now. And I enjoy upcoming writers. I enjoy the potential writers to avail themselves this season and make a name for themselves, not just for the fame or for the name, but to be among saviors of the world, people who are able to aid someone out there, people who are able to aid and alleviate the pain others are going through. And trust me, when the COVID is over, your name will be written in the marbles of history that you made an impact by availing yourself this opportunity to consistently engage your mind and bring to fore your principles and bring to fore your belief system and bring to fore words that can heal. And I trust that this symposium will be a blessing for you as you reflect on words spoken by great minds across the world. And I'm humbled to be representing my country, Nigeria, and to also be a partner to Pachyderm. I hope someday you will get to know our work and our connection better as we have great work to do. Thank you, Crystal College. I am fortunate and I'm humbled, and I thank you for this opportunity. I hope we'll have more time together to engage about culture, creativity. Art is a global religion, and it's not hinged on any religion. It is a religion of its own. Thank you once again. My name is Lucky Stephen Onya. I am the School of Art and Poetry Executive Director, and I want to thank my other colleagues who are making this happen. I know you are putting in the hard work to see that this symposium holds. I may not know your name, but I say thank you for the time. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the time.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lucky Stephen Onya. It's truly inspiring, I should say. Truly inspiring. The words like a creative writer is one who sees beyond now, and also creative world or creative writers as saviors of the world often takes us to the olden times when Plato wanted all the writers, creative writers, to be out of our republic, or his own disciple Aristotle. Okay, brought them back with his own theories. Okay, wonderfully said, sir. And I think it's truly inspiring for our people who are listening to you and listening to all our speakers. Thank you very much for finding time to inspire us from Nigeria. And I know you are working on it, you are practicing it, not just speaking it, practicing it. You're the director, you're the founder, coordinator of poetry school in Nigeria. So naturally you're practicing it. And maybe the listeners, the viewers here are also, looking forward to getting published maybe in Nigerian books too. So thank you very much for this association. Thank you very much. And I see that the chat box flooded with comments and also the questions. And I think our most of our speakers are managing quite well the questions in the chat box itself. Dr. Manali Desai, Dr. Rahayu, etc., are managing all the questions in the chat box itself. That's fine. That would save time. And I was told, when I got a message from Gada Toston, our fourth speaker, she's ready with her speech. So we will wind up with her speech, maybe this symposium, the first. And let me tell you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. And we are going to see miracles. And we want all of you to be with us, maybe on WhatsApp groups and also mailing lists, so that we can constantly interact with you. And if this particular workshop had given something to you, maybe if there are some takeaways, if it has inspired some way to be a travel writer, to be a poet, to a novelist, to be a short story writer, we are happy. So over to the last speaker of the day, Dr. Gada Tosson from Egypt.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible now.
Yeah, finally you can hear me.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I understand you travel all the way to your university to present for us. Okay, so we'll have it now, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
I will speak today about the forms of poetry and the tips for creative writing.
Okay.
First, poetry has been around for almost 4,000 years. Like other forms of literature, poetry is written to share ideas, express emotions, and create imagery. Poets choose words for their meaning and sound quality, arranging them to create a tempo known as the meter. Some poems incorporate rhyme schemes with two or more lines that end in like sound words. Today, poetry remains an important part of art and culture, from Shakespearean sonnets to Maya Angelou's reflective composition. Poems are long-lived, read and recited for generations. By the way, my master's was about Shakespearean sonnets. They were amazing. What is poetry? Poetry is a type of literature that conveys a thought, describes a scene, or tells a story in a concentrated lyrical arrangement of words. Poems can be structured with rhyming lines and meter, the rhythm and emphasis of a line based on syllabic beats. Also, poems can be free form, which follows no formal structure. Let's see quickly 15 types of poetic forms. Okay. First one is blank verse, is poetry written with exact meter, almost always iambic pentameter that doesn't rhyme. Blank verse poetry came from age in the 16th century and has been famously employed by the likes of William Shakespeare, John Milton, William Wordsworth, and countless others. Unlike free verse, it adheres to a strong metrical pattern. Second one, rhymed poetry. In contrast to blank verse, rhymed poetry rhyme by definition, although their scheme varies. Rhyming poetry takes this to the next level, as one word selected to end and a particular line may affect a word selection on a subsequent line. Yet despite the challenges they pose, rhyme poems have endured for untold centuries of human civilization. The free verse, it is poetry that lacks a constant rhyme scheme, metrical pattern, or musical form. Epics is a legacy narrative work of poetry. These long poems typically detail extraordinary feats and the adventures of characters from a distant past. Narrative poetry. It is similar to an epic. A narrative poem tells a story. We have an example here, Henry Wadsworth, Longfellow, The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. Also, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Haiku. It is a three-rhyme poetic form originating in Japan. The first line has 5 syllables. The second line has 7 syllables, and the third line again has 5 syllables. Pastoral poetry is one of the concerns, the natural world, rural life, and the landscapes. These poems have preserved from ancient Greece to ancient Rome to the present day. We have sonnets. Sonnet is a 14-line poem typically concerns the topic of love. Like Shakespearean sonnets, it is about his love to his friend and his love to the dark lady. Sonnets contain internal rhymes within their 14 lines. The exact rhyme scheme depends on the style of a sonnet. Elegies is a poem that reflects upon death or loss. Traditionally, it contains themes of mourning, loss, and reflection. However, it can also explore themes of recovery and relief. Ode, much like an elegy, it is a tribute to its subject, although the subject need not to be dead or even emotional, as in John Keats' Ode on a Grecian Urn. Limerick is a 5-line poem that consists of a single stanza, an ABA rhyme scheme, and whose subject is a short, brief tale or description. Lyric poetry refers to a broad category of poetry that concern feelings and emotion. This differentiated from 2 other poetic categories, epic and dramatic. Ballad, it is form of narrative verse that can be either poetic or musical. It typically follows a pattern of rhymed patterns from John Keats to Samuel Taylor Coleridge to Bob Dylan. It represents a melodious form of storytelling. Soliloquy, it is a monologue in which a character speaks to him or herself, expressing inner thoughts that an audience might not otherwise know. They are definitely poems, although they often can be most famously in a plays of William Shakespeare. Villanelle, 19-line poems consist of 5 tercets and the quartet, which with a highly specified internal rhyme scheme. Originally a variation on a pastoral, the Villanelle has evolved to describe obsessions and other intense subject matters. We can see it in Dylan Thomas, like his Vanity, don't go gentle into that good night. Okay, here we have some tips for creative writers and budding poets. First, explore ideas and writing styles. Keep a notebook of ideas and things that interest you. This is what will feed your imagination and give your topic to develop into once you are ready to start putting pen to paper or trying on the keyboard. Also pay special attention to authors you enjoy and to think about what techniques they use to engage, amuse, and inform. You need also to reflect on what you want to communicate to others and how you want to communicate. Second one, read about writers and writings. If you enjoy writing, read books about writers and how they got started and learned their craft. A good selection is 26 Fairmont Avenue by Tommy DiPaola. Number 3, start smart. Find ways to get published locally. For example, you might start by writing letters to the editor of the local newspaper, print out copies of the manuscript, and distribute them. It is motivating and exciting for a young writer to see his work in print and to get feedback from readers. Consider writing competitions. Begin to develop confidence in your work. You might enter favorite pieces in a competition. Sometimes community organizations hold contests. your local library may be able to direct you to them. Finally, understand that it is difficult to get published, but finally worthwhile. When you have a deep understanding of how books are made and has a manuscript that is ready for publication, you could certainly send your manuscript directly to a publisher or find an agent to help you get your manuscript to the publisher. We have 5 ways to help creative writers. Number 1, give them engaging topics. Giving them too many choices can make it even more difficult for them to write. This is why I almost never say write about anything. So provide them with inspiration by giving them articles to pique their interest. Second, give them extra tools. Provide them with extra tools to help them not only write, but incorporate what they learned. Here are some tools you can provide your writer with. You can provide them with a small group instruction, one-on-one discussion, a skill bookmarks, or a writing partner. Teach them the art of brainstorming. Sometimes the issue is just getting ideas down on paper. Work with them in small groups or one-on-one to make sure that they have a good brainstorming session before you ask them to write. Make fun organizers to encourage brainstorming and add a discussion component to help them get ideas. Go beyond pencil and paper. Some struggle to get ideas down on paper, but the ideas will flow when they are given a device to work on. Blogging platforms like Blogger is a great free way to share ideas and get feedback from others. I have former writers that have logged hours writing on their blog at home. This blog can be used for journaling, brainstorming, and even formal essay writing. If you don't want to set up blogs, you can also have them write in Google Docs or even in a notes app on a device. Form discussions. The best way to get ideas for writing is to talk about it. So lead a discussion on the topic you want to be discussed. Thank you. I'm so happy to be with you today. I hope you enjoy my session.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that comprehensive presentation on types of poetry and also the last tips for the creative writers. And I think that in a way helped our listeners a lot, maybe listening to both poetry and also travel writings in general. I find grand finale, maybe the last presentation where you spoke about the different poetic styles from which they can pick and choose. So generally speaking, I think we have nearing the end of our symposium, and many of the questions, see, I see the chat box flooded with questions and also with answers from our great speakers. That's nice. So they have well managed it, and if you have any questions, you can just unmute and speak. I think Shindo, you can unmute all, so that if anyone need ask any questions or express their own maybe creativity, I'm sure that at least a few of you are inspired by our speakers. Maybe you want to share something, you can do it. So I want everyone to be unmuted, so that if you want to speak, you're free to speak maybe for 2 to 3 minutes. We don't have much time, and we have our great speakers with us. Rahayu ma'am, Manali, ma'am is with us, and of course we have the founder of Pachyderm Tales, Dr. Lakshmi Priya is with us, Dr. Abdul is with us, mute and then speak. speak, maybe, and you can also tell us, maybe we'll be going for the symposium too. So this symposium, as you know, concentrated on travel writing and also on poetry, but we have other genres also to discuss. Okay, and we will be bringing such speakers who can discuss different genres from, of course, around the world, so that we can get a taste of what's happening around the world. Because the whole world, especially with COVID and this kind of connectivity, has shrunk into a global village. So we often feel at home when we sit together, people from different countries, with, of course, with cultural and language differences, but we feel at home when we come together. So if you have any questions which can be asked directly, or if
Good
you have
afternoon,
any
sir.
comment. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Firstly,
Yes.
congratulations for the success of this symposium. We were really benefited with this, and we look forward to the other events of this sort. My humble question to Gada ma'am is, she had mentioned the types of poems, the poetry. I just wanted to know if ma'am could repeat the kind of poetry which she has mentioned before the pastoral and before the lyric poetry, please. Thank you.
Dr. Gada, are you ready? I mean, of course, I hope you heard the question. Or she did tell me that once she's in the university, she'll be busy, but she found time. Maybe I can very well share the slides of Dr. Gada maybe with you. I think she's here, but I don't know whether she's in a position to speak. Gada ma'am?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hope you heard the question.
I didn't hear the question.
Could you just repeat the question, Dr. Shashi?
Yes, yes, sir. Ma'am, I just wanted to know the two types of poems that you had mentioned. One is before the lyric poetry and the other before the pastoral, please. Thank you.
One is before the lyric poetry.
Lyric poetry, and another one is before pastoral. That's what she asked.
Okay. You mean epic poetry or lyric?
The one you explained, the one you showed.
Ma'am, you had explained the types of poetries in your slides. So I just wanted to know the title of the type of poetry which was mentioned before the lyric poetry and one before the pastoral poetry.
Yeah, before the lyric poetry is limerick. It is 5-line poems that consist a single stanza. The subject is short, brief, tale, or description. What is the other one?
Before the pastoral poetry, ma'am. Before you spoke about pastoral, you showed a slide. And what exactly was it?
Okay, that is the Heiko. Heiko is
the
3-line poetic form. It is Japanese poem. I will share the presentation here.
Okay, that's great, ma'am. You can share it with me and I'll share it with the group members. Okay.
Okay,
okay.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions, please? Or clarifications? Yeah.
So myself, K. Madhavsha, I'm an MA student from Assumption College. My question is to Manali ma'am. Ma'am, can you say what is the real purpose of writing?
Hi, so the purpose of writing, actually you have to ask yourself why you are doing it. It depends on person to person. It cannot be like a standard purpose for everyone who's writing. Some people write for, it's a therapeutic feeling for them. So that's why they write. Some people use it as a way of earning. Some people just want to release their creativity. So it really, again, depends from person to person. And I also mentioned in one of my answers that somebody asked, and I wanted to make it clear one more time that whenever you are writing, you need to ask yourself two questions, why you are writing and who you are writing it for. And that will solve the purpose also of writing.
Okay, ma'am. So it's mostly it's expressing yourself. Okay, the need to express. Okay, the urge. I think when it comes, you write. Huh? Yes. And the latest theory is saying that author is dead. Once you write it, it's not yours. It's somebody else's. The readers will talk on it. Okay, will come in, assess you, criticize you. Right, right. Okay. Any other questions or
Sir,
clarification?
I have a question to Manali ma'am.
Okay.
I'm Sajeev, a research fellow from Zamborin's Guruyappan College. I was always afraid of the language of our writing. You know, I had a personal experience of soon after my higher secondary education, I had prepared in my mother tongue a personal account which contained more than 2 notebooks, complete notebooks. That was almost in the form of an anecdotal fiction. And you know, it has been more than 15 years now. Now I am 34. And I have often thought of rewriting that, but what stopped me or hindered me was that I was afraid of the language of literature. So could you just say an opinion of that? Not to write, but the hesitancy, as Manali ma'am said in the reply that I asked. Always hesitant because of afraid of this language of literature.
Okay, hi Sanjeev. So I recall you asking this question in the chat as well. And I will repeat what I said there, that there is some sort of hesitation always there in any creative person's mind whenever they are putting out something new. It's not just about writing. Even painters are afraid of the opinion of people and how it will be judged. So that fear, I think it's a good thing to have, because you are also questioning yourself on the quality of your writing. Going to the next part of your question as to how to get over that hesitancy, it will come with practice. Once you start putting your work out there and once you start receiving feedback on your work, you will start getting confidence on your work. And also, if and when there is a criticism on your work, take it as constructive feedback. It will only help you to write better when the next time you are putting out something. So do it with an open mind, but it's whatever hesitance you are feeling, it's actually a good thing because you are questioning the quality of your work. And it will go. It stays, but it will go with time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Sajeev, it seems, and the next greatest fear may be when you send it to a publisher, whether they'll return it. Okay, often, but think of people. Say I've just come across Walt Disney. Okay, I mean maybe his biography or something of that sort, where he was what he called rejected by so many directors, and then he became I think a legend who won 22 Academy Awards. And there are so many writers who are rejected first and by the publishers, who became, then they proved themselves to be the best. Okay, even when we write and send a what you call a research paper, we have our own doubts about whether it will be returned or not. But I'm sure 100% once you put in effort and rewrite what you have done, okay, truly it will be accepted. And another important announcement which I was asked to make is this: Pachyderm is there to help you out in publishing. Okay, they have ISBN numbered books, etc. So write whatever you feel like, of course, with what the suggestions made by our speakers, and I'm sure it will get published, or we see that. We Pachyderm Tales see that it's getting published. Okay, maybe
Okay,
it's a suggestion.
thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Any questions? Or any clarifications? Or any interesting comments? Because this was a slightly different workshop. Okay, and we had people from around the world speaking to you on different aspects. So if you have anything to share, you can have it here. And I see a lot of very positive comments, especially on chat box. Very happy to see it. I mean, as one of the organizers. Okay, I'm sure the Pachyderm Tales and Christ College is ever thankful to you for these comments. Though we had a few technological glitches, I think we managed it quite well. And so many are with us even at this point of time. And we did, I think, from the other side, we even gave you the feedback form in the beginning itself. But even then, I'm really surprised to see so many of us, so many of you with us. Usually, what happens, especially in webinars, once the uh, feedback form is served, which often gives you the certificate, no one stays back. But this is different. I'm really happy about it. Okay, so many of you. So there is nothing. You can feel free, and I'm sure that you are hesitant maybe to speak in a forum like this, but don't have such a hesitance. Please just unmute yourself and speak something maybe which interested you, which inspired you, which motivated you, or which with the knowledge that you got from this short symposium, which we are planning to continue. Okay, any comments? Or if it's all Thanksgiving, I think we'll move on to our proposal of vote of thanks. Okay, it's almost 2.5 hours we are together, that also on a Sunday. So I think without much ado, I'll just speak a few words maybe to thank our great speakers and Pachyderm Tales, and also Christ College for making this wonderful symposium happen. Because we have been discussing it for a very long time, and Pachyderm Tales had already signed an MOU with Christ College Autonomous Kerala, and now we are together on one single platform, sharing our thoughts, and we have a lot of speakers too. So maybe I'll express my gratitude in just one sentence. See, we had our own head of the department, Professor Mary Patros, welcoming you all. We had our own principal in charge, Reverend Dr. Jolie Andrews, inaugurating or giving the message. We had one of the conveners, Dr. Abdul, sharing the concept note, and we have our great speakers, okay, like Manali ma'am, Rahayu ma'am, Gada Tosin, Lucky Stephen, and Ikra Akram, joining us from all over the world. So I express my heartfelt gratitude to all the speakers. And and I should say, you people are special to us, the listeners, both on Zoom and on YouTube. You're really special to us, because I think it's your questions, your doubts, your clarifications, and your apprehensions to a certain extent made this symposium a grand success. So I request you to be with us in our WhatsApp groups, and we'll let you know. I think Dr. Lakshmi has already shared, a flare of our upcoming event. Which one? Which we will again together, attend and also attempt. And if these people have inspired you, I want this in black and white, in written form, either in the form of a short travel narrative, or a short poem, or a short story, which Pachyderm Tales are ready to publish. And you will be, of course, acknowledged for that. And the books are often sold through Amazon, online Amazon booksellers. So naturally, I think if at all, don't be hesitant. See, I saw many of them, Sajeev voiced it. Many are, I'm sure, a bit hesitant. So please feel free to send us your creative works, and we people are ready to publish. And let's, what you call, move with this association, maybe till that you finish your writing. Okay, and I'm really happy to have you, all of you here. And of course, I was ably technically assisted by one of junior teachers, Shindo, and all my department colleagues are also with me, and many of my colleagues from our college are also listening to this. So thank you very much. And it was a very nice time. And I should also thank you people, because Sunday is often a holiday, maybe not in Egypt, not in Indonesia, but in most other parts of the world, Sunday is a holiday, and that too in India. But you have spent your quality time, almost 2.5 hours with us. And of course, we are learning together. okay, and being creative together. So wishing you all creative days ahead. I stop. Thank you very much. So I think we can call it a day, right? So thank you. You will receive your certificates very soon. Okay. So that's all from our side, Christ College and Pachyderm Tales. Thank you. Bye. See you soon again for another symposium with another set of speakers speaking on different aspects of another genres. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Varghese. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.